Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Force 5, a Star Wars action figure collecting show in which I have a special guest on to come on and we're going to discuss their top 5 favorite Star Wars action figures, any size, any scale, any era, anything they want to choose, but it's going to be their choices from their collection. And ranking his top 5 today, special guest, actor extraordinaire, personality, host, just a wonderful friend and just all around just
Just,
the
I'm just waiting for the hammer to fall.
the Prince of Philadelphia himself, Mr. Hal Lublin.
It's
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you. The living cheesesteak has arrived.
I
Hello.
got to say Mr. Hal Lublin.
Yeah, and not when you're mad at me and saying Mister.
Yeah. And you didn't get mad at me for not saying you a doctor, because you earned that doctorate and I should have used it.
You know, so many doctors are upset because of how much they paid to go to medical school and they want to be called doctor. But for me, I go against the grain. It's no big deal. I know I'm a doctor. That's enough for me.
Shout out to my middle school band teacher, Dr. Drake, who always reminded us that he earned that doctorate and we had better use it and don't call him Mr. And we were only 12.
Where's he today? Do you know?
Well, considering our respective ages, we probably shouldn't contemplate where Dr. Drake is today.
We need a shovel to meet him. It's fine. I understand. R.I.P. Dr. Drake. May your memory be a blessing.
As long as the note you're playing is correct, you can summon him, I'm sure.
Yeah, this magical flute.
Yeah. Let's not talk about me Milli Vanilling my way through a band concert, figuring that no one would notice.
Wait, what were you playing?
Nothing. I was
You're
not
just
blowing
standing
into
there
the trumpet
going
at all. I was a trumpet.
Oh, you had I meant like, did you have something in your hands, or were you like, this?
Yeah.
Imagine a violin.
I had a trumpet, but there were other trumpet players, and I knew I couldn't play well enough. It did catch me out in practice, though. When he goes, "Hey, why don't you try playing this thing? Because it doesn't sound like anything's coming from your section." And that was my short-lived time in middle school band.
I need you to play the solo from Feel So Good, okay?
I need you to play any note.
By the way, did you catch that I was a musical teacher counting down like it was a rocket launch? And a 3, 2, 1, jazz!
And that's how I got my doctorate in astrophysics and not music. And here I am teaching middle school band.
Yeah.
So you call me doctor.
The secret sequel to Hidden Figures is a bunch of astrophysicists who become band teachers in middle school.
So welcome, Mr. Lublin.
Thank you.
So as we traditionally start, before we get into your top 5 selections from your collection, which I hope the decision-making process wasn't too hard for you.
You know, there is one that I'm going to have to make an honorable mention because I thought I had it here, but it's in. So I have 2. My collection is in halves right now. Okay. Half of it is here, which is stuff I have purchased since moving to California.
Right.
With the one exception is this Diecast Millennium Falcon, which is mine from childhood.
So did you fly out with that on the hood of, or drive out on the hood of your car as you moved out after college?
I flew out using this. I strapped it to the bottom of my shoe and walked, and it's still in great shape. But the rest of it is in Philadelphia. My childhood collection is there waiting. In fact, this weekend, I'm supposed to get on a FaceTime with my father to go through it and have him ship stuff out to me. So
he is so over it being there.
Well, I was agonizing over this. There were so many figures that didn't make the cut, and maybe I'll show some. Like, I definitely want to show some of what I have. That's
so this was a difficult. This was difficult for you to choose.
But the one that I knew I wanted to include, I don't have here. I thought it was part. So I have this. Well, I'll talk more about that later.
You wouldn't be the first. I'm going to say this right now, just in case, before we launch in, that you wouldn't be the first person on the show who hasn't happened to have it within hand's reach, and we've been able in post to deal with that. If you would, if there's an emotional enough connection that you feel it should be in your top 5 regardless, we can include that. That's your choice. It doesn't have to be relegated. 5. Okay, I just want to make sure.
I picked out. I want these 5.
I don't want
to get their time in the sun.
Like Toy Story crying in a box somewhere, knowing that Andy didn't pick it.
when he loved me. Yeah, I look.
And it's Malakili singing that, right? It's
It is
Malakili
Malakili. I
in a
have
box.
I'm going to show you. I'm very excited to share. I know we're only supposed to share like 5 figures and an honorable mention, but I feel like this is my time to show off.
Have you seen me at
what
the end
I've
of these shows?
spent
It's
time
not just one
collecting.
honorable
Yeah,
mention.
well, we're gonna. I like to keep to the rules. In fact, one of them I'm gonna reach out of. I wanted to get it. I wanted to keep it at arm's. I wanted everything to be at arm's length, and this one I forgot, but now it is. Okay,
Okay.
we're good. Now we're good. I did by 5. It was very
rewind.
difficult.
Let's rewind.
Yes. Let's go back.
The start of your Star Wars
Uh-huh.
collecting. Do you remember how this all started? What would be start of your
Sure.
collecting journey?
Well, the first movie I ever saw in the theater was The Empire Strikes Back. The first commercial for a film I ever remember seeing on television was for The Empire Strikes Back in my grandmother's apartment in Northeast Philadelphia. We were over visiting, and Yoda appeared in that like the very end of that spot is I think the shot of Yoda as he's leaving, as Luke is leaving to go help Han and Leia and Bespin. So
the bullcrap this is shut.
yes, exactly. But he's like looking up and he's like, mother. But as a result of that, growing up in that same pocket that you did when Star Wars was really formative in early childhood, my allowance that I got for doing whatever menial, small, easy tasks my parents set before me was my mother would walk with me to the Toys R Us on Cottman Boulevard, right near Cottman and Castor, and I got to buy one Star Wars figure every week. So like that's a really like big memory, is getting those figures, and like I could barely wait to rip them open and have the figures. So as a result, I have almost none of the accessories from those. And that
You were also 3, 4, 5 years old.
3, 4,
It's
5,
hard
6.
to keep track of
It
accessories
is.
at that age.
It is.
The
But
little things go.
I had the fortune of being an only child, so all the anything that was for toys, even when we didn't have a lot of money, was like stuff would be Star Wars stuff, primarily Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, but Star Wars above all else. So most of that stuff I held on to, and then I came back to it maybe in my late 20s, early 30s, when I realized how much I missed it. So for me, it's very emotional. And the toys that I collect and the toys that I want are the ones that I had when I was a kid. So you and I are so different in how we collect things, because you see behind me things in boxes. Almost everything boxed here is in acrylic or some protective case, because as much as I enjoyed playing with them, I love this Dagobah playset box is a piece of art to me, and what's in it is a piece of art. And so to
As
have
far
it
as you know, you have no idea. It's Schrodinger's toy in there right
Oh,
now.
no. This one I've opened. Every box,
Okay.
I don't have any like sealed, have never seen what's in it. These are all things that have been out, displayed.
If you got a sealed box, tape still on it, completely sealed,
Yeah.
pristine box, would
Yes.
you open it?
No, I wouldn't, because especially if it's something that I've had or may have unboxed somewhere else, because I know what's in it, and I've already experienced the joy of opening it and taking it out. That's not the dragon I'm chasing. The dragon I'm chasing is having them in that pristine shape, because they're a time capsule to me of being a child and that excitement of Star Wars, and seeing them all, like all the shots that you and I will text to one another of here's a KB Toys from 1981, and it's just their wall of Star Wars toys. It's everywhere. That feeling is really exciting to me. So it feels like I'm curating for nobody but myself this little art museum of this is the photography that they used, and the labels, and having all those pieces that's really exciting to me. Like I understand that for you enjoy those toys and that sense as well, but you also have an appreciation for how the sculpts have improved, how much better they look, how much more faithful they look, not only to film costumes, but to the actual heads and faces of the actors and people who played these roles. And I appreciate that, but there's no attraction there for me in terms of that's something that I want to or need to own and display. I like having the stuff from my childhood. It's extremely emotional and personal to me.
You're very much a classic Kenner line.
Yes, 100%.
78
Whatever I can get.
to 84. That's your
85,
85.
yes.
That's
Mhm.
your prime. Everything from then. If you could get one
Mhm.
of each of everything from then, you'd do that.
Yeah, and I'm learning as I go how little I know about this collecting, because there's to say I have a Darth Vader. I have a loose Darth Vader. It's not one of my 5. It's an original Kenner. He's from, I can tell you exactly, he's from 1977. So he's in that original line. That's the year, that's what's stamped on his leg. That's the run that he's from. The vinyl cape is intact. The saber with the wick is intact. And if you wanted every carded version of it, I think that there are like probably 12 to 15 different ones, because for every run there, what's on the back is important. It's not only how many different action figures there are, but what was the offer? Does this have
What
the
was the
4-LOM
movie?
offer? What is the movie? Is it, and then you can get into, is this the Tri logo? Is this
What's the offer
yeah,
sticker that's on it?
exactly, 100%. Does it still have the proof of purchase? Like all these different things that
Does it
tell
still have
you.
the Myers sticker on it that was discounted to 99 cents?
Yes. And everybody, the beauty of it is everybody collects differently. Some people want those price tags. Some people absolutely hate them. I'm a little bit more agnostic because I don't have a ton of money to spend on it. So it's really piecemeal as I can get it and where I can get it for a decent enough price for me. And if it looks okay, I'm happy. And I'll show you some stuff that are examples of what I enjoy, and because they just evoke memories in me, and that makes me incredibly happy. I don't ever need to open them to feel joy.
So what got you back into collecting then, your late 20s?
I just got to this point where it's like I miss that. I still love Star Wars. I love and I think you also get to a point, there are things from your childhood that you'll always miss. And a lot of it you can never get back, because there are things that happen, there are events, but the toys that represent some of those feelings and some of those important moments in your life, you can get those back. You can have those still. You can have a physical reminder of something that brought you a lot of joy. So once I realized that, and I realized that this was the thing, and I can't even remember what the light bulb moment was, but I knew, like, this is the thing I'm going to collect, and it's more important that I collect this than anything else I could have. And I've been through baseball cards, comic books, all sorts of different stuff, but this is
And other
the
toy
one that.
lines. It's not like you started collecting He-Man on card.
No He-Man, no I have a ton of GI Joe. I had a big thing of GI Joe that I got from an eBay purchase that was just thrown in. My father had bought this like long box of comics just to see if there was anything good in there, and it sat in his place out here for years. And with it was just a bag of GI Joe stuff. He's like, I don't want that, you can have it. And I wound up just selling it. I found somebody who wanted to buy the whole thing for not too much money. I'm not in the business of GI Joe. That's not. There's a point.
Meanwhile, they're all
like,
straight arm first series figures. They all
their first series figures.
You're like,
I
$5.
sold them for $10.
You
Yeah.
want them? Pick them
Yeah.
up.
Like,
They were on the curb.
Wow. I fleeced that guy. Now he has to carry all those around.
What a putz.
Yeah. But I mean, there was a time where I was collecting GI Joe when I was like 15. I got really into just owning the whole set, and I would go to Woolworths and I would blow past a rack of Power of the Force, that final line with the coin. I'm sure there was a yak face in there, like all the
It was all yak
all
faces.
that stuff.
It was all yak faces,
and they couldn't give them away. It was like the 99-cent bargain rack. And I'd walk past it and go, who collects Star Wars anymore? Not that I didn't like Star Wars. I felt like I've moved beyond those toys. They don't have value to me anymore. So
that's a memory that's gone over and over in your head.
that's,
since
oh
then.
my goodness. So many. I think about it a lot. Ken. I think about what it would mean.
Would it make you feel worse if, like, a time traveling you suddenly appeared and went, here's a photo of the wall you walked past. This is the exact wall you walked past. Here's what was there. Here's little you going, who wants that?
I mean, it's funny now.
I'm gonna get me a mind bender.
I don't want to see that. Really? Like, you're not kidding. Where can I get a Crimson Guard or a Bat Soldier?
Yeah,
that's
he's
what I
got the
wanted
hologram
instead.
on it. He's got the hologram.
Yeah,
these Star Wars figures have holograms.
To me. None of them do.
They can't even bend their arms.
Who wants those coins? They're not even real.
Ugh.
Meanwhile, I mean, here we are.
So
here
when
we
you
are.
came back in the late 20s,
Uh-huh.
this is when you would decide of what that you would be an inboxer on Carter. That was what you were going for because all your childhood stuff was played with.
Yeah, I had
And
those figures. I still
right.
do.
So when you decided that, so late 20s is when you would have went, okay,
Late 20s, early 30s. Yeah.
this is what I'm going to be. This is what my collecting of this is going to be.
Yeah.
Because you could have just been I'm going to buy every figure I can loose that I used to have. That could have been your
Yeah.
dive back in.
But I have most of that. I don't have it complete. I got all the play out of it I could as a kid. I lost everything I could lose. And now I want it complete. I like seeing it. I like this, which is not also not one of my 5. This was really what kickstarted me coming back into it, was buying this Luke Skywalker on the card at New York Comic-Con. Everything's in there. He's got his little cloak. He's got the blaster that he pulls out using the Force. He's got the green saber. And then the back is like, it's flat. It looks great. Like, I just love this as a piece.
He's got that Jedi indifference where he won't even make eye contact with you.
Yeah, he turned his head away from it. It actually was looking straight forward until I picked it up, and then he turned away. It's the opposite of those paintings where it's following you with its eyes.
He's actively avoiding you in the package.
Yeah, that I picked that up for $90 in 2014, I think. That was really what I was like, oh, now I can afford to do this because I had no money. But now I was a con-going person who signed stuff. Not a celebrity, just part of something that people knew about.
You got enough side scratch. Is that what it's called?
I got a little side scratch. So I would go there at side scratch. You go into a con, what are you going to spend money on? And look, even then, if I could have splurged on stuff, like the one right there.
We spent more on dinners and lunches.
That's true.
And conventions.
Well, food is important.
Than that.
You have to eat, Ken.
Yeah. But
not
come
monsters.
On. That's overpriced con food. We spent more on a breakfast buffet than you spent on that action figure.
That's true. Yeah. Well, the action figure I paid.
Thanks a lot, Hilton.
For it.
I'm just going to say that. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Wasn't worth it. Was not worth it at all. That waffle station does not work well. Does not work well. And I don't want to stand there.
Biscuits and gravy.
Oh, stale biscuits and gravy.
It wasn't even that good. Even the fresh one's still stale.
Oh, we know. Why is the fruit so dry? How do they dry the fruit like that?
It's so bad.
But
and it's watermelon.
Look what you got. Look what you got.
But I got that. I paid $90 for it. I think it's worth probably like $500, $400 or $500.
And I've seen you on the hunt. You're much more of a haggler and able to walk away than I am. When I see a thing, I kind of like to get at least something. So I will settle. I'll get this because this is here.
Yeah, I learned that from my dad, to be able to walk away and how to negotiate. And I always go in to anything that I'm bidding on. I know it drives you crazy when I bid early, but if I bid early, it's because I don't care whether I get it or not. It's if I get it for this price, it's fine. But the Dagobah playset was an example of that nobody really bid higher. I got it at a really reasonable price.
That's a recent acquisition.
What they're going for
to your collection, right?
That is a recent acquisition. The biker scout is also a recent acquisition, or the scout bike, which came with 2 troopers with their guns.
You've gotten re-energized. You in the past couple of months. You're suddenly
now I have an office to put stuff in, so I have a place to display stuff. The Womp I've had for a long time. I had some carded figures I didn't realize I had before. Then you connected me with your hookup in North Carolina, so I bought from him.
I hooked you up with my dealer and
your dealer. But it really, like, I'm just trying to figure. And now I'm in this whole world on Facebook of these, like, deal or no deal is what it's called. And so somebody puts up something and people start throwing numbers out, and the person says, thank you for starting us off. No deal, close. And they get a number they like, and they do. It's very cordial. It's really fun. And for me, just seeing what's out there that people have is incredible. It's just cool. Like I can't throw down with those people by and large, and that's fine. I just like to understand what's out there, what people value. I like to see how other people collect the thing that I love to collect.
Well, speaking of what's out there and what you have, let's go to your number 5 choice on your list.
All right, I started off by cheating. This is a figure, but he's part of a playset, so I'm just going to show you the whole playset.
He's a figure, so I'll accept it.
This is from 1983. It's the Jabba the Hutt playset with
Oh,
Salacious
yeah.
Crumb. I don't have the fishbowl that goes underneath here. I do have a replacement one. I just haven't attached it. But I love just for Jabba himself. Oops, he took his.
He's got his
He's
hookah.
really into that hookah. I trapped it with my finger. I love the look on his face, especially now with his arms like this. It looks like he's playing a fake trumpet to try to fool your band
Oh,
director.
does he know Dr. Drake?
Yeah, he knows Dr. Drake. But I love the articulation of the tail and the head, everything, just all the little pieces of it. Like he doesn't articulate that much, but it's in all the right places. And he also looks a little bit scared that he's been made into a figure. Do you see that?
Yeah.
See a little bit of fear in his eyes?
He looks like when you catch a cat doing something.
Yeah.
And he's like,
If he stays really still, we won't see him.
Yeah.
But the whole he's such an interesting character. He was such an interesting character in Return of the Jedi, and the playset is fun with the opening stage. And I do love the little Salacious Crumb that comes with it.
Yeah,
who's also adorable.
Yeah, Crumb buddies.
Yeah, Crumb buddies. So it's just an adorable playset. I love it. I love owning it. Again, this is one I picked up. I picked him up at the Long Beach Antiques Market it was this with a bagged replacement hookah and I think a replacement the neck restraint as well, which I have tucked in.
It all came together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have backups of everything, and I think I got it for $25, which felt like,
I mean, it's certainly cheaper than you can find it online now for that set.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy. But the good thing is, and I think this is from a video that you shared with me, they made so many of these that didn't sell because it was towards the end of the run, that it's a lot easier if you have a Jabba and even if you have his throne to get a lot of these accessories.
Yeah,
they're a lot easier to have because there are so many of them that are made. And also this Jabba, his arms are fine; they're not popping out, which is kind of the main problem. But he's not I've not turned his torso in a long time.
You haven't done
torso
dance numbers with him?
No, I haven't.
The torso tail's fine.
That
doesn't break. It's his arms. You can see a little snap off. Oh, he's so happy.
Play the trumpet for me, Bo Shooter.
Yes, play it for me because I'm not playing it.
It's me, Dr. Jabba.
Please look for a little scale trumpet for him to hold.
I need the Droopy McCool's horn.
That's like a flute. It's like
in his other hand, his flute. Yeah, it's sort of like an oboe. I always think of what Figrin Dan plays as more of an oboe, and I think of his as more of a flute. So it looks like a snake charming, like it looks like a very
Asian, here's Droopy.
Indian. Yeah, there's Droopy. See? Doesn't look like a clarinet to me, because clarinet is I guess it is clarinet. Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking more of an oboe or a bassoon for Figrin Dan. Oh man, I'll tell you, that is one of my holy grails, is getting that band, because I remember the day I got them. We went to the Somerton Spring Swim Club. I opened the box. I was so excited to have it, and immediately Droopy McCool's horn was gone, lost in the grass I was sitting in. Then I lost both of. I think the two things that lasted longest, one is Max Rebo's keyboard.
Right.
Because it's so big, it's hard to lose. The other, oddly, was Cy Snoodle's microphone. That lasted a long time. I may still have that somewhere. There he is.
Oh, and
looking like he's wearing a vest.
This little articulating.
Yeah, with the keys. It's so, but his hands aren't close enough. You can't really get his hands to play them. They sort of articulate the wrong way.
Yeah.
Maybe
he was pretending to play. Maybe he didn't actually play. Take that, Dr. Drake.
Oh. Listen, if you watch this show and you have stuff you're looking to sell, I will reach out to Ken and get him in touch with me, because I am salivating for a Max Rebo, Cy Snoodles and the Max Rebo band set complete.
Either in box or loose.
I would take them either way, because I as long as I have them complete with all of the accessories, that would be okay. And in the boxes,
you got to get
the damaged boxes are going for $400. That's Cy Snoodles.
That's size.
And the other one is.
No, this is size.
That's Cy Snoodle. The other one is for yeah. There you go. Beautiful.
There we go. Yeah, you got to set that whole big Jabba's Palace playset area. Get Han and Carbonite on there.
Yes.
So
I've looked at trying to get the Boba Fett ship complete, which you can get. It's hard to get it with the stickers still down. Like some stuff it's just going to be harder to get. I'm going to have to hit the lottery.
But the sticker replacements now are
You can
so
get
easy,
sticker replacements,
and
but
they are
getting
so good.
the ramp cover and getting the L-shaped piece that's the cover for it, and getting Han Solo and Carbonite is incredibly difficult. That is a more expensive item.
Any accessory
come
you can
across.
lose, anything for that vintage era, any accessory that can be lost is going to be the thing that's going to jack the price up on it.
Correct.
And make it that much harder to find.
Yes. And even getting the parts, the individual parts can be expensive. I've looked.
So Jabba was your number 5.
Jabba's number 5.
But what is your number 4?
So my favorite of the Star Wars movies, the first one I saw, which is The Empire Strikes Back, and the character that I saw at the end of that TV spot always stuck with me. And that is why the 1980 Yoda, who is wearing his belt and has his robe. I do have the cane. I do not have a snake. I've looked at buying the orange, because there's orange snake and brown snake. I had the orange snake as a kid, so I wouldn't mind having that one again. But I love the look on just the look of glee on his face.
Oh no,
he looks so happy to be there.
That's very much the playful Yoda of messing with R2.
And I can say this because she's passed away, but there's something about this figure that reminds me of my grandmother. And maybe it's the fact that he's wearing a pantsuit underneath. He's wearing these
he's got comfort clothes.
Yeah. He's got like little pajamas on underneath. Yeah. This was the hardest one, by the way. I've cataloged all these, and to find the year that they were made, you have to look on the back of their leg. And he's wearing so much clothing. I mean, it's like a wedding dress. There's just layers and layers and layers and underskirts to try to get to the back of his leg. But I finally got there. I also like the little hunch in his back. It's just got like nice little details on it. And he's so small. He's so cute. and he goes with the Dagobah playset, which I also like very much.
So that to be clear, that isn't your childhood Yoda. No. That's one you get. So what's left of your childhood Yoda? Is it just
nothing?
No robe, no belt.
He's just in his pajamas.
He's just in his active wear.
Yeah, he looks like he's a character who just woke up on It's a Living. Like he just woke up and he's going out to make coffee in his pajamas.
Yeah, he's comfortable. He's just comfortable.
Absolutely. And so happy. But like, there's not much at the time. You're like, well, he doesn't have a lightsaber. He doesn't really do any of that stuff. So I'm sure there are more active Yodas that came out around. He had
a banging cane.
He's got his banging
cane.
Yeah, he does.
Compare that with your R2 unit. You got a R2 banging cane.
I will tell the story of how I came upon these figures, which none of these are from my childhood, but I will explain how I got them. But you got them all
basically together.
They all came together, except for my number 5 and my number 1. I got them all at the same time.
So let's talk about your middle of the pack, number 3.
Everybody's favorite Empire Strikes Back character, the Man of Mystery from the animated special, Boba Fett.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about one of the Bespin guards.
the Bespin guard, but the one who looks like a young Reuben Blades. I just love. Everybody loved Boba Fett. We were kids. He was the coolest Underoos set. He was a really, really cool character, and the figure just sort of reflects that really well. I love the paint job on his armor. I do have his E11 blaster. It is. I debated.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. That's the blaster he came with, and I debated having him getting all the accessories out, but I'm terrified I'm going to lose them. Well, there you go.
Now take that missile out. Go on, take the missile out.
I do have the one of the few latter day figures that I bought was somebody did a run where they reproduced. They made basically a bunch of prototype Boba Fett's with missile firing, and you could choose between the J-Lock or was it J or L? I think were the two choices. So I did the J-Lock one. That one is kind of cool just to have, but this is the original, the real deal, and everything about it's just cool. It's super cool.
Which also goes with your Boba Fett ship.
He would go with the Boba Fett ship. I do still have my original one. I have to see when I get it here. Like,
What actually you have left of it?
Can I fix up my Millennium Falcon and put it back together? What do I need there? Can I fix up his ship? Do I have what I need there? So, but I hope to reunite him with his ship once more, just like in The Mandalorian. But the young, cooler, not in the back to tank all the time.
Was
Boba
he
Fett.
cool though? Come on.
Well, he was, because we didn't know anything about him.
Right. We only know the sad end that he met in the saddest way.
The coolest thing he does, the two coolest things he does. Number one is he's smart enough to know that Han has jettisoned himself with the garbage and he follows him. And
Right.
that's how they find him in the first place. The second is when Boushh comes to Jabba's palace and pulls out the thermal detonator and activates it, everybody jumps back except for him. He pulls his rifle up because he's ready to fire. So he's not only is he not afraid, but he's ready to kill this person and try to disarm the thermal detonator. Those two things.
Yeah, you didn't see that from Ifan Han. That was
No.
Jabba's head of security. What was he doing? Where was
He was hiding.
Where was Ifan Han on the day that Boushh arrived with a thermal detonator?
Well, I mean, how many people have tried to choke Jabba while chained to him?
Something tells me Ifan Han been there a little too long, a little past retirement.
Yeah.
Taking it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His brother got him that job.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Very
that's
slow
like
reaction.
Those two Boba Fett moments, in particular the Return of the Jedi moment, I think are cool enough that they erase how he is killed. Although as a kid, I thought that was hilarious. So it was so good as a kid. I was like, oh, that's so great.
But also, he's a villain. I mean, if he's gonna, he should go out yeah, that's what happens to you. You think you're so cool, you got hit with a stick.
Yes, and he'll always be Jeremy Bulloch to me. As much as I like Tamir Morrison, I think he's an outstanding actor. I have trouble letting go of the Boba Fett. I grew up with both the guy in the suit and the voice that he had. So hearing him speak with that New Zealand accent, where he's like, "He's worth a lot to me." It just doesn't sit right. Yeah. It's just it doesn't sit right with me.
Poor Tamara Morrison just can't catch a break from you.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's like
doing well.
He's every clone.
Yeah,
he's millions. He's got millions of roles in the Star Wars universe.
He
plays the most roles in the Star Wars universe.
He does.
But there's not even close. No one else is close to how many roles Tamara Morrison has in the Star Wars universe. Ultimate character crown.
Yeah.
And once they started giving them names and personalities in Clone Wars, great, it's D. Bradley Baker performing, but still, it's Tamara Morrison's face. It's Tamara Morrison. It's his characters. It's going to go to live action. They're going to be played by him.
In fact, he comes back as the veteran in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He does.
In a great little bit. He's the Peter Sellers of Star Wars. He plays a billion different characters.
Oh, Bim. Please have a Bim moment with the clone soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see his disguise kit now. I just want to see Tamara Morrison's disguise kit, because I bet he has a great disguise kit.
It's just a Stormtrooper helmet.
Look, who am I?
Look, no, I have two other helmets.
So,
yes,
we got your number 3. We got Boba Fett. So right now, just to recount, because we're at the halfway point.
Yes,
we have Jabba and his playset. We'll include the whole playset. So
sure,
good on you, Salacious Crumb. You made it in, just like you always did by being present. You got Yoda for your number 4 spot.
Yes.
Number 3 spot, we just did Boba Fett. So your number 2 choice, because now we're getting into where you really had to start making value judgments on what you were picking.
Some of the figures that I love are because I love the costume and the whole aesthetic of the film. And this definitely falls into that. Again, huge Empire Strikes Back fan. I love this outfit. I love that it came with both what is it, the DL-55 blaster? Isn't that the blaster? The DL-50, the version of a DL-55 plus his lightsaber, and that is Bespin. This is the Bespin outfit Luke Skywalker with his blonde. There are 2 variants of this figure that exist, one with blonde hair, one with brown hair. I have the blonde hair.
I think mine's the blonde
and
hair
I think
as
he's
well.
lovely.
Yeah.
I do have both his gun and his lightsaber, which was the beginning of
The stick.
not having the slide through the arm, but rather a stick. It's a yellow stick that looks more like a katana. But I think it's a really, I just love the I think it captures the outfit really well. I love the way the belt extends sort of low through the hip at like an angle. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got a lot of character.
Yeah.
Although he does have his lightsaber hanging from his belt.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna ignore that. You just hold it like this.
Did you
when
just did you just notice that after 40 years?
I hadn't thought about it.
That he has
I never thought about it, but
right
there it is. There it is,
all
hanging
painted
from...
black. Granted, but that's his
Yeah.
lightsaber. It's his dad's. It's his daddy's lightsaber. He's gonna
Daddy's
lose it. It's
lightsaber.
his daddy's lightsaber.
But it also, I get it, because given the limitations in toy making at the time, it makes more sense.
I wonder
to have
how
this here.
many people realize that is the lightsaber
Well,
hanging.
yeah, that you've blown my mind. But now, when he doesn't have his stuff, it feels like, oh well, everything's put away.
Yeah.
He's got
also,
his blaster is holstered.
Grab your second lightsaber during the fight, for crimini's sake.
2 lightsabers. You could have used 2 lightsabers, Luke.
Oh,
But yeah, I love this,
you're
and he
such a
looks
Luke.
really cool. I kind of wish I had put his accessories in his hands because he looks super cool with both the lightsaber and the blaster.
Yeah.
In his hands. I love that look.
Neither of which did him any good in the end.
That's right. They didn't really help him.
He had so many options and he blew it all.
If only this were detachable, we'd be film accurate.
Now it looks
But-
like he's playing charades.
I feel like I had to have a Luke. I feel like this is my favorite Luke. I do also like the Jedi Knight outfit, which is the carded one I showed you before.
Because we
Even
had
Farm
what,
Boy Luke.
5 total Lukes?
There are 6. So
we
you have
we have Farm Boy Luke. We
Farm
have
Boy,
X-Wing,
Bespin, X-Wing,
Bespin,
you have, Hoth and Bespin,
Hoth,
Jedi
Bespin,
Knight,
Endor,
and then
Jedi
no,
Knight.
there's the I don't think they ever put out a
Yes,
fatigues one with him.
Yeah, they have the poncho one with him,
Oh, then there are 7 because
which
they
is
also have
separate
him
from
and-
Jedi Knight Luke.
Don't
He has
they
the
have one?
poncho with the helmet
no, they-
molded on for Endor Luke, and then
And they only did Han as a stormtrooper. They didn't do Luke. So then he does have 6. So then there are 6. Yes.
no, I thought we
That is
just
the
said
total
7.
number. Because I was including the stormtrooper, but
No, I
that's
think it's
not
still
included.
7.
You have Farm Boy, Bespin, Hoth, X-Wing, Jedi Knight, and Endor.
And Hoth.
No, I included Hoth. I said Hoth.
You said Hoth?
Yes.
You said Jedi?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to be a segment that lasts for the next hour. So
Great. Let's really get into this. Nobody use the internet. We're doing this honestly.
one more time. Let's do it by movie.
Okay. All right.
Instead of
Farm
lumping
Boy
together.
and
Yeah, so-
X-Wing.
okay, so that's the first movie. We had 2 variants.
Yes. Hoth and Bespin.
Hoth Bespin is our Empire Strikes Back.
And then Jedi Knight and Poncho, Endor.
Endor.
And
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Those are only 2 outfits.
One
in
more
those movies.
time. Just to
Sure. Let's go backwards this time.
So how-
Endor, Jedi Knight,
So how
Bespin, Hoth.
difficult
X-Wing,
was
Farm Boy.
you? Because this is your number 2, so it means
Yes.
it just narrowly got edged out potentially for number 1. How close was it to being
Not
number
close.
1?
Not close at all because this
Did you know
this
number
one-
1 was going to be number 1 no matter what happened?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's
And
your number 1?
This is one where I had it as a kid, lost both of the accessories. Then I think at the same show, I think it might have been maybe the same day at that Long Beach fair, I got him back with one of his accessories and the other one I have to build. From 1978, it is the 12-inch Darth Vader with his original cape,
Oh,
which is kind of hard to find. You know, the joints are a little loose, but you can sit him down. And then when you sit him down, he goes into a split, which is fun. Because it looks like he's playing that
but
game where
also-
like you do the same thing and then you roll a ball back and forth for
he's
fun.
got the big bow for the cape, so he
Yes.
looks like a playful, like he looks like a little kitty Vader.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jaunty, or like the Colonel.
Like his mom
Like he's-
tied the bow on his cape so he can go out and play with the other kids.
Yes. And this is the hand the lightsaber goes in. I lost it almost immediately as a child. I bought a 3D at your recommendation, bought a 3D printed handle, and then I have
Oh, did the loose
I
sides
have these
come in?
acrylic rods, so I have to clip and sand it down and sort of and glue it into place because it's not quite wide enough for the handle, but it's fine. It's a display piece. I just want it to
mean,
look
The
decent.
original just had a big stick. It really wasn't
Yes.
the
Yes, and it wasn't translucent. It was just a plastic rod, the right color. But I just love the little bits of detail on the chest plate and the belt. And he's big enough that it was like he wasn't like a stuffed animal. I wasn't sleeping with him on my bedside, but like
But-
he's just was a good display piece.
but
And
you
you could
were.
pick him up. He was tactile, and he's big enough now in my hand. Imagine as a child having some like a toy this large. And this is the only 12-inch toy I had. They made very few of them. It was Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Leia and Han,
Chewie.
and
Chewie's really
Boba Fett,
disturbing. If you ever
R2D2, who came with the
R2D2.
Death Star plans in his chest. I don't think they did a C3PO. Maybe they did. I'm kind of
I
odd if they did one of the other.
think they
But
did a
fewer than
3PO.
10 characters
Right.
got the 12-inch treatment. So this is it's way more accurate than the 3 3/4 inch, where he looks like he's unwell because his neck is really thin. Like he has to have the same dimensions as everybody else.
Right.
He has to have a thicker neck. Darth Vader's got a thicker neck. There's something going on with this neck back here. This
Even
this
looks
old
like he's
thicko.
smiling. Like the grate on front looks like a smiling grate. Like, he's
Yeah.
got a really.
Because he tied his bow.
It's
He's
like it's
happy.
picture day. It's picture
Yeah.
day. Do you remember the jingle that went with the ad
With
for him?
picture day?
Was it-
No. How'd it go? What did it go? How'd
My
it go?
pal Vader, having fun in the neighborhood. My pal
yeah.
Vader. Yeah, remember that?
Play with me. I can count to 10 by myself.
But everything about it, just the colors and it's way more accurate than anything you got from those original 3 3/4 inch lines, especially for how early this was made. And I appreciate that level of detail. I appreciate it as a kid. I appreciate it as an adult. It would be cool to have it in the box, but I love it as a display piece because it just feels like, oh, this is something that was really dear to me as a child that I have way more. Just having the cape is enough.
But you don't
It's
have your
great to have-
childhood version left anymore, do you?
I do, but he doesn't have the cape.
Okay.
He's back in Philadelphia, but capeless.
Oh, what are you
This
gonna do when he has to meet your new better Vader?
I'm gonna close the door and let them fight it out in the evening. I don't sleep in here. Let them figure it out.
You know, I was his first. Yes, but I have a cape.
Let's share the cape. We could make a schedule.
The Sith aren't about sharing.
Do you ever hear the story of Darth Plagueis the Tailor?
So yeah, this is my number one. Not even close.
Oh,
And he's like this one's like loose and banged up, so it still feels like the one I had as a child. But
right.
having the cape was such a big deal to me when I found it and bought it.
You need to post photos when you finally get that lightsaber in his hand.
I know it's gonna look weird. I'm not crafty like that. That's not a skill.
It's
I have to figure out.
gluing
In
a
fact,
stick and
I'm
a
gonna put-
handle. It is not crafty in
Go
no
for it.
way. Oh, I hope he doesn't take a header right now. That'd be very awkward.
Yeah, lose his head. It's all right. I'll put the cape on the other one when it gets here.
I heard that.
I heard the please.
Um,
I'm sad.
so do you want to reveal one of yours, and then I'll show you. I'll
So
show off
here's
the
the
rest
thing.
of my
So
stuff. What do you
I've
want me to
done
do?
my 5. I finished
right.
my 5.
Yeah, of course.
But I do have. I mean, I have tons of honorable mentions. So that's a yes. I will share mine. You have your honorable mentions ready to go?
Oh yeah, I do. I
Okay.
definitely
I'll
have my
share
honorable
one of
mention,
mine.
for sure.
Only because I do want to share this up top because it is a thing that very kindly came from you, and I wanted to show it.
Ah.
So this was a birthday gift from you. This
It
is
was.
the Black Series 40th anniversary on Empire card re-release of a 6-inch Black Series Bespin Han Solo. Look at that. Great,
Yeah.
wonderful gift. Last time it's going to be on this card. So I wanted to show
Thank
you it
Wow, what restraint to even keep it for that long.
before it has its swan song and it gets freed from its plastic block. Might have some plastic sickness coming out. Might be
Sure.
I have a little trouble seeing.
Yeah,
But eventually he's
temporarily.
going to make his way back. So yeah, look at they have have that sort
Yeah.
of vintage look. You got a Yoda on the back there.
Back is fantastic.
You got an AT-AT driver.
Yep.
You got your Hoth Leia.
That's great
Oh,
too.
look at that. Oh, look at that.
There's another yeah. You know,
But you know what he doesn't have on the front? A lightsaber molded to his leg.
nope. Just that if you lose the one, if you lose it, then he loses it.
But yeah, so thank you for that.
Oh, you're
Wonderful
welcome.
gift. Soon to be open. So
I know you can't wait to free it.
watch on TikTok
Oh,
for that speedy unboxing video. Don't tell Hal that it's up.
yeah. You send me those videos like I can't, you make me lose it. I'm seeing red. Seeing red watching those toys get released.
So let's see the
it's
first
it's
year
funny.
honorary mention.
So it's funny that that's an honorary because the one figure that I was for sure going to put in my top 5 but don't have here is my Han Solo Bespin 3 3/4 inch. I love that outfit. I wanted that outfit as a kid. I wanted the brown pants with the yellow stripe. I wanted the blue jacket over the white shirt, the low slung belt with the holster for his DL-55 blaster. I just love everything about that outfit.
Did you ask your
Even like the
parents
haircut I
about
thought was cool.
getting that outfit?
No, I never did. I just wanted the toys. Like if you have the character, it's almost like you have the outfit. So that
And
is
now you can have that outfit as an adult.
yeah. I could. I don't know if it would look as good on me as it does in Harrison Ford in that movie. I'm okay just having something that's wearing it. It doesn't have to be me.
Wow. Maybe you have to get yourself one of these as well. For your desk.
Maybe so. Well, I have an original one back in Philadelphia, so I do have one that's on its way.
And in good condition? Is it better condition than mine? Because that's the
It's
Han
probably been
Solo
played in
my original edition that his eyes started to come off. And I thought the best way to fix it was with an ink pen.
Yeah.
And you can't get delicate placement with an ink pen. So
No.
basically it looked like some
You look
demon had
shocked.
possessed
Yeah.
the Han Solo and burned out his eyes with this
What a
blue mass that was spreading across his not a good look, not a good way. Forever ruined, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen it for 30 years.
You could hollow out some pea soup, like hollow out a tube and shoot pea soup out of his mouth.
I have dreams
He
of
looks possessed.
not only getting those figures back, but also that particular one to see if I could get the ink off.
Yeah.
And
you may be able to do a restoration. I know you're heavy into those. Mine are in decent shape. Some of them. I never triaged any of my toys in that way. So they're all whatever shape they're in is sort of just the shape they're in. And they've been knocked around. They've been in a flood. So they've been covered in muddy water and washed off. So none of those toys are in optimal shape, which is why it's nice so these figures, which are in way better shape, they all live
in a house in
this
Malibu.
Bust case, this beat up bust case. So I bought this with all of the toys that were in it at the Rose Bowl flea market in Pasadena from someone who had gotten them out of storage. He had bought a storage locker. He was selling everything in it because it wasn't just all Star Wars. You know, sometimes you have people who sell a lot of one specialty item. Sometimes they're Storage Wars people who have emptied out a storage locker and are selling it for as much as they can. He was asking for, I think, $75 for this. I wound up paying $65 for it.
How many figures are in it?
There are, I'm going to try to open it and give you as good a look as possible at what is in here. So, see if it all falls out or not. Oh, no. So, you can sort of see half of the original 12 figures here. Some of them have fallen down. There's a Chewbacca. Every character that has a vinyl or cloth cape still has their vinyl or cloth cape. I have the majority of the accessories with it. It was just, and I knew what was in the case when I started bidding on it. And I would have paid full price for it, but I just wanted to see if I could get a deal on it. And it was clear that he didn't care. He was just trying to sell it to sell it. So, yeah, everything's in here. All the lightsabers. And I love this sticker, that A with Darth Vader in it, is from a sticker set that I had as a kid. And I still have somewhere, I think, that composition book where I pasted all of those stickers into it. So that was kind of a cool little piece. But then here's the other half. Try to show.
But no Bespin Han Solo.
No Bespin Han. The only Han Solo in here, there are two Han Solos. One is the Hoth Han Solo, and then one is the original Han Solo that is from 77, I think.
Big head or little head?
He is big head. Here. Yep. Same terrible haircut. They both look like
It's good that they made an action figure out of Harrison stand-in.
Chris Demontopoulos as Mo. That's what it looks like.
Shout out Chris D.
Yeah. But I also like all of the bounty hunter figures, so it's cool to have most of those, especially IG-88 and Bosk. I always thought Bosk was a cool character. There are a lot of...
Is Zuckuss, aka Forlom, and Forlom, aka Zuckuss, in there?
He's not, but I think, I know I bid on him. I've been bidding on those because I had that mail away. I had it as a mail away, as a matter of fact, when I was a kid. The only mail aways I have still, and I got two of them that were still, one of them still in his little plastic bag. The other one is in his original, the box that he was shipped in. It has the address of the friend who gave it to me. Hold on a second. Return that to its great slumber. But I have a 9 Num who's still in his original box, and it has that I have opened. I was the first one to open it. It stayed sealed until the day I got it, and I didn't know what was inside it, so I wanted to see.
Full
but
of
it
that
has
that 82
the
air.
catalog. Mm-hmm. Oh, so it smelled like Edwin Meese. It was great. Loved it. So it was really cool to have that little, like, oh, this is kind of here's a real frozen in time moment. Nobody has ever opened this before.
But
and
you
that's really
opened
the
it.
only condition. I carefully opened it to preserve the box because I didn't know what was inside. There was no way to know
What the figure was.
So-
of the
so it's-
various mailings that they did, mail aways.
correct. So it's packed back in exactly as it was when I found it. So I had that. And then, so I've been, can I show off the carded stuff that I have?
Yeah, of course.
So we have, I mean, obviously you have Bib Fortuna and these I got these together off of eBay, not carded. But they normally stand on Jabba's throne with him, properly hold these for the camera.
You need to get more. Well, this would be great because you have a Gamorrean guard at home, don't you? With your stuff.
I don't. This is one I never had. I did have Bib Fortuna.
I mean, that's army
again,
builder stuff. You can always get tons more Gamorrean guards to guard around Jabba.
If I was going to get a bunch of one character, it'd be Stormtrooper.
You can also put a Jawa with them, with holding a fan.
That's true. I do have a Jawa.
Yeah,
I do have a Jawa I can
so
put with
put a
him.
Jawa with a little fan.
But I do have a Bib Fortuna that I had when I was a kid. And he also doesn't have his chest plate, which I guess is probably one of the parts you lose pretty quickly, that little rubber piece right there.
Right.
And his cloak obviously tears apart. And you can lose his staff really easily. And then he just looks like B. Arthur wearing a Halloween mask because of that's really what it is. It's not even pajamas, it's a living. It looks like everything B. Arthur wore on Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Or
he's a roper.
Yes. Yes.
He's the sister we never saw of Mrs. Roper. Edna Roper.
There's so the Empire Strikes Back. These are the sets I really like. These Empire Strikes Back, obviously favorite movie. And this is a 41 back that has been torn to the back by the bubble. But I love the photos on the back. That's like really important to me. I love the Darth Vader case and the Dagobah playset, all the additional things they were trying to sell. And then later on, obviously they had more figures and more pieces. This is an ATST driver, one of 2 that I have. This is the one with the yellow. This is the one I've thought about, like, maybe I should flip this one because I have another one that's pristine.
So I'll show you for comparison. If you look at the back of that, what the cards have become since, because they do have a vintage line of anyone watching this. If you don't know, they do, which is modern figures released looking like a vintage Kenner figure with the bubble and the card back.
Yes.
So this actually just came last week. This is the Reva from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. But now there's a lot of legal warnings that need to be on products now. So, Hal, if you want to hold up your vintage or one of your vintage, doesn't matter which one.
Another vintage. Here's a B-wing
So
pilot.
so on the back of the B-wing pilot, you'll see you flip it over, look at all that. You got that big massive photo of all those characters. You got play sets on the bottom. And on this one, you got, look, there's some characters, but
in the state of California, harmful chemicals. That's just the opening scroll of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's actually all
Hold on, there
nine.
we go.
All 9 of the original films. Oh, perfect. I do like that it closely resembles.
You got more over there.
So it's all warnings, but then
also,
top they've
here's the thing that's really about this.
Yeah.
So you have all these warnings there are also included on a piece of paper that's packaged in with it.
Yeah, all this says is ages 4 and up. That's all it says. It says it right there. That's all you get.
Just we have another warning in the corner there. I forgot.
Yeah, choking hazard. That's how I know when I'm looking at stuff whether it's new or not, because they didn't care if we died in the 70s and 80s.
And so you've seen that there's the 96, which is the original run of Kenner figures.
Right.
The vintage collection, which has been going since 2010, I think is when the vintage collection started. This is what figure number they're up to in the vintage collection.
Wow, 242. Yeah, because now everybody has all the characters that
there
are a lot of like questionable choices, like
also variations of characters.
Yeah, do we need the medical droid in the line who's just like a finger puppet?
Yeah,
it's basically a hollow, but like the head clicks.
That's what Star Wars is all about. You want every little side character that walk through. Guy holding drink on Jabba's sail barge.
What's fascinating to me about that vintage collection figure, though, is that the back looks like, so the original 12, for I'm sure anybody who's watching this that's into collecting already knows what I'm talking about. Just in case, those original Kenners, when you talk about, generally they're classified by how many figures are on the back, and then you do letters A through D that tells you the offer and all that stuff, but it's basically the number of characters that were in the line at that time. The originals are 12 backs because they were the original 12 figures, and they're drawings. That's artwork. It's not actual photos of them. The first run that had the photos were the 21 backs, and that's what that resembles more than anything, because it has that Star Wars wraparound framing, and then the 8 differently colored, and that's what I love. I love those individually colored,
because you have 2 lanes.
Yes. But I love that each figure has its own photograph. The ones I've showed you so far are all group photos. So again, this is another. Here's the Emperor on the card, a little damaged card, but also a much bigger bubble.
And on the back, you have the class photo
because he's thick. Yeah. And then on the back, you have essentially the class photo. This is getting towards the end because it's all Ewok play sets and the Rancor, although it does have Size Snoodles in the Max Rebo band. My favorites are the 32 back and the 41 back. And this is the one I got from Ken's dealer. So I have 2 Lobots. I showed you the one with the blue back. This one, which the offer on the back is for the survival kit that has the asteroid gas masks and Jedi training harness and stuff. But each one has its own little picture. And I love that. There's something about when I look at this card and I see all these pictures that feels like a warm hug. It's like I'm being hugged by my deceased mother. She's come back to life to give me a hug. That's what because this, maybe it's just the strongest early memories of going to the store with her to buy figures, but just this is just a moment in time. So when I see these on the back of a card, I'm like, oh, that's something I really want to have. Right. The later ones are a little easier to get. So, it takes time. You get stuff when you get stuff, but this is kind of this card back is kind of a crown jewel. Not that I particularly care for Lobot one way or the other. He's fine.
Oh,
He's
come on.
he's great comedy fodder.
Love Lobot. You gotta
Yeah,
love
look,
Lobot.
I don't hate him. He also is dressed like one of the Golden Girls. This is another B. Arthur costume.
No,
he
he
doesn't even have anything on over it.
What was the name of her ex-husband? Stan? It's
Stanley.
Stan. It's
This
Stanley
is a
figure.
Stanley
It's a
Zbornak.
It's a Stanley Zbornak figure.
Stanley Zbornak. But yeah, this
I
back
remember
is
B.
just...
Arthur is canon, sort of, in Star Wars. So
She runs the cantina.
it's what people don't know is that the Star Wars Holiday Special is a prequel to the Golden Girls, and that was
Yes.
what she did before moving down to Florida.
Yes.
Well, she
With
worked
Beatrice Arthur.
Yeah. and Harvey Korman
Let's see, who else
as too many characters.
I'll go through these a little quicker. Here's General Maydeen on the card. These are all originally on the card. I also love that it has the Chewbacca bandolier on the back and the C-3PO bust case, both of which I had. And I almost bought a boxed bandolier set recently.
I also wish that you just collected 5th tier characters on card. I got the General Maydeen. I got the Lobot. I got...
Yeah. Here's Admiral Ackbar.
Not a 5th tier
maybe a little
character.
more major.
Oh, and
He's a lot more major. He's got his
command
he leads
staff.
the band that you're not playing the trumpet for.
Yeah. Oh, he actually dresses like Dr. Drake did.
Yeah. Same outfit. And then 4 more. All right. Here's the clean ATST driver. This looks like this looks like it just came out of a box in 1983. I love how
Let's open it. Let's open it.
Speaking of 5th tier characters, here's Malakili, the Rancor Keeper.
I mean, didn't you also get that from
Yes, I
my
did.
dealer? Because I was gonna get, and I thought, you know what? I would just want to open him. Hal should get this. He's got such a he's got like the saddest face as a figure. He's just so sad.
I mean, the picture is sad too. The picture is a little more neutral, but you can tell. I mean, his story's sad. He's just beset by misery.
It looks it looks like a friend tried to set him up on a dating service and needed to take a photo. Hold the card up. Hold the card. It looks like, Malakili, you need to get back out there. The Rancor's dead. You need to get something else in your life.
I lost him.
Oh my gosh. It's like he lost the Rancor.
No, I'm right here.
He's like, we gotta take this photo. We're gonna put you out on the app. We're gonna see if you need to find somebody. He's like, is it done? Do you take it? Is it
Hi, ladies. My name is Malakili. I like Rancors and soup. My number is 07541. Give me a call.
not good with loss?
I'm not good with loss. I cry a lot. I think it's healthy.
I'm crying right now while writing this.
Here's one of the Ewoks. Here's Tebow.
Oh yeah. Which team did he play for?
He played for the New York Yankees for several years. There's a Tebow, and then finally, maybe if you want a character who has almost no screen time that got a figure over like Grand Moff Tarkin, here's 8D8 from Jabba's court.
But he makes such an impression. Jabba's torture droid.
Yeah, he also looks like a Jim Henson Muppet.
Yeah. Oh no, he's because I think it's the long face, but with the burnt mouth.
Yes.
Why the long face?
It's a living. That's the It's a Living droid. If anyone is the It's a Living droid, that's the It's a Living droid.
That he is. He hates his job. He takes no glee. Like he doesn't care. It doesn't bother him.
I hate this job.
8D, take this job and shove it.
So is that all your honorary mentions?
That's it. Those are all the honorary mentions.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to throw out there. Yes.
I'll throw out some other. So I got a few things. Speaking of Jabba's palace, I got some lovely birthday gifts from some friends. You mentioned you included. But my pal Mark, one of the things is this modern vintage collection Jabba's
Wow.
Palace playset.
Beautiful.
Most of these figures not included.
It comes with
including-
Han and
including
Ree.
Jabba. It comes
Han
with
and Rees.
it
That's
comes
it.
with Han Solo in carbonite. So you got him outside of carbonite, and also let's see if it shows him in the carbonite block on any of these photos. No. Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
a pretty
That's good.
looking carbonite block.
Yeah.
And then you got a pretty good looking Han Solo, who I guess is a assist him Han Solo. He's got a
Yeah. He's a leaner. Yes.
very much
Can't
a
see.
yeah.
Sweaty. I like that they have the Jabba hiding, like in the movie. If they
Oh,
were
and
just
look,
like,
Salacious
see
Crumb sits
you.
like your Vader.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he's got this wide leg. Maybe the two of them are playing that ball rolling game together. I also like that Lando in the skiff guard disguise is the most disguised he looks at any point.
Oh,
and I have a
I
bag.
don't understand how Lando, who's been around the block as a con man, as an operator, that mask hides nothing. No one recognizes Lando Calrissian at all in the.
Yeah.
And also, was that even necessary? That whole like, by the way, it's me.
Oh, can you imagine how much time he spent building that helmet?
Like,
nobody's gonna know it's me.
Like, is there someone else across the room going, damn, I knew it was Lando. I knew it.
I got you.
Now there's Ifant Mon. There he is. There's the head of Jabba's security.
There he is.
Where was he on the day?
Look, he's on the opposite side of the room from Jabba.
Yeah, nowhere close to protecting Jabba at all.
Nope.
So
I think Bib Fortuna pushed him out.
But the companion to that, speaking of your Skiff Lando,
I do love that. That's a really cool piece.
Modern skiff display, which you could also use for your vintage Kenner figures just as well as a nice display.
It's a really nice piece. You know, I was bidding on an original sail skiff, the one that's green with the red sail on it. And it like fits one figure. It's really small. It's like it looks like a calf's hoof. And I lost it because I was at the doctor's. I was at a doctor's appointment when it ran out. So I couldn't stay on top of it and make the final bid. But that is a beautiful piece. And I love how the figures are arranged on it. Yeah.
And look, he's driving. Look, he's driving. He's driving.
Look at him go. He's driving that thing. Look at that.
Not the real
He's really driving.
Not the real controls. They tell him he's driving.
It's remote controlled from the main sail barge, of course.
But this goes to something you mentioned. So I do have the one I have sitting here. There
it is.
An original Kenner. Slave 1, now just fire spray. I think they're especially doing the rebranding. So either way, Boba Fett ship. Formerly Jango Fett ship.
The side door is there.
Got the side door. And
have the ramp cover.
Got the ramp cover.
Oh, look at that.
And inside, a real pain to get out.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, it's great. It's a great piece.
Got its stickers still on the side of the.
Yeah, it's in really decent shape.
I'm missing 3 stickers. So
which you can get replacements
easily get. But it's fully operational still. It does its rotation when you go into flight mode. So.
Oh, what a nice piece.
And which was great about toys of that era, great with the Millennium Falcon and this. Oh, you got a play handle.
Yes, the handle's awesome.
You got a play handle.
That is like the one that you really can hold on to.
Which you
none
can't
of
do.
None of the other ones
stuff.
really have a handle like that.
I mean, that modern Millennium Falcon that I have is probably
it's too big.
It's wider than the frame is. Whereas that original, you could be a 5-year-old kid and fly. I mean, it was still a little chunky, but you could fly that thing around.
Yes.
But
yes, you could.
I have not taken this out of the box yet, so you'll love it. Another birthday gift from my pal is the modern version.
Oh, that looks great. I mean, look, there's no doubt that the modern interpretations of these vehicles are way, way better. They're way more accurate. I love that the photos they take in, they articulate better because they've got more articulated joints. But there's just something like I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's really nice.
I mean,
I would rather have the original.
Yeah,
Oh, and it's rocket firing.
Look at that
I'm surprised
carbonite block that comes with it.
I'm surprised the entire back of it isn't just a warning of like, this fires missiles. You will choke.
I mean, but it doesn't have a charm. There's a charm that certainly exists with those classic Kenner toys because they're, again, you can hold them. You can hold this. I mean, that thing, I could barely struggle just to get it up to show in frame the box. This thing's just like, this is a toy for a kid.
Well, and they also have the benefit on those
that's
boxes.
A collectible. That really is a collectible.
Exactly. That is a display, like no child touch it. These were meant to be played with by children.
Yeah. This is not something that comes with a display stand. That's something that comes with a display stand.
Yes. I also love that on these boxes, the sail skiff and the Slave One, they can use and create an actual scene from the film with these figures. Whereas when this was released with the Dagobah playset and it has the 2 slots for the figures to fight one another, it is Luke. It is Luke and Vader on there. I know there are some versions that are Obi-Wan.
But to your point,
like you don't know what it is.
He was creeping there. He was on Dagobah at the time. He was watching that training.
Yeah.
As a ghost. He was ghost creeping. He was.
He was.
But to your point, the Jabba's playset box, you have that collar that comes with it that attaches to the throne, but there was no Leia figure for that set.
Yes.
There was no Ula figure. It had Luke attached to that as the captive for that collar.
Yeah. So there's something too. They have to maintain. These aren't movies that people have seen for decades, where the scene becomes instantly recognizable. They're like, we're showing you what you can do with it with the most popular characters. You could look at that as a kid and go, oh, cool, Luke and Darth Vader are fighting, but you have no idea that it translates to that cave where he cuts the mask open.
Right.
Which is such a great scene.
Yeah, there's no tree. Where's the tree with the hole? Why isn't there a hole you can shove a Vader head and Luke down?
You can sort of have him lying out of that hole on the side there.
There should have been a Vader with detachable head that came with the Dagobah playset.
If you wanted it bad enough, every Darth Vader's head could detach.
Too easily.
Yes.
Far too easily.
Way too easily, yeah.
But you know what you didn't have in that Jabba's playset? You didn't have an Ifant Mon. I have an Ifant Mon. I can put Ifant Mon. I can have him there on my playset being totally ineffectual. You didn't have that.
No, but that's why they didn't have him. He really didn't
Failure
do anything.
at his job.
It's as if he wasn't there.
Yeah. Where were his swift reflexes when Leia was choking Jabba? Where was he?
Beats me. Asleep.
Gone man.
He's pulling a Beetle Bailey and just napping under a tree.
I think I have 2 more things to share.
Please.
Before we go.
Yes.
And then I want you to tell me about your speeder bike. But
okay.
In that Black Series 6 scale, they just came out with. So they love to do these sort of figures celebrating creators in the Star Wars franchise. They're a Dave Filoni X-Wing pilot. It's like the easiest, like we'll make a new head and we'll slap it on an existing figure and say, oh, he's an X-Wing pilot or he's a stormtrooper in disguise. So we've gotten a few figures of him before, but for the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, they did George Lucas as Stormtrooper in disguise. It's an okay George Lucas as far as likenesses go. It's got, I guess, George sharing a tender moment with a sand trooper. Not exactly sure what the direction is he's giving right now.
Probably faster.
More intense.
More
Faster.
intense.
Faster, more intense.
Faster, more intense.
Why are you doing it that way?
More.
He means basically Kermit the Frog. He's it's George Lucas doing a Jim Henson impression. Is
Hi ho, check the gate.
we're moving on. But there's your George Lucas Stormtrooper
Ugh.
disguise.
Silver Fox. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? So here's because you can pop this head off and put on any figure. I have a Stan Lee figure in this scale that they put out, who's in his like casual windbreaker Stan Lee fare.
Mhm.
So I think George is going to be, and then we got Stan Lee and Stormtrooper disguise.
How has he not been taken out of his wrap yet? Were you saving it until you showed him to me?
Saving it until I showed it to you. Then he's
Okay.
good.
He's gonna be free
George
as
is
well.
going to be free range.
Oh,
So say
he's gonna run
goodbye.
off.
It's not like he's
Bye.
on the front of the package. He's on the back
I
of the
love
package,
this.
sure, but
I like that they used the original Stormtrooper photos too, of them firing their blasters. Like that's the
Yeah.
original Kenner since 1978.
What's
77,
great
78.
if you look at, since you have a lot of it, it's fascinating to do the comparison because they have done cleaner versions of the photos. Like they've cleaned
Mhm.
up the screen grabs that they've done. It's interesting to look at the. Oh, I have one other figure. You have to look away,
All right, I'm not looking.
so don't look. And I'll tell everyone why. And I want to make sure because I don't know how it affects in toy form. But this is Mandalorian and Grogu with that ice spider from the Mandalorian. Do you want? Is that fine?
It's okay.
Okay, just want to make sure that's.
It's a little creepy, but I
It's
appreciate
kind of like
the
an
warning.
octopus more than a spider.
Yeah, they were spider-like.
Yeah, got a little one, got a big one. But I love when they do sets like this for upcharge sets because it's the figure we've already gotten, but a little icier. Like he's just sort of like frosted.
Yeah, it's a little
He's-
cold.
He's frosted Mando.
Chili Willy.
You know, for like cereal, your frosted Mandos. A little sweeter than your
Yeah.
standard Mando.
Yeah,
You
it's
get your
part of your
front-
complete breakfast.
Frosted Mandos. So I just love this as it's got a little egg pod that comes with
Yes.
it too. Another thing you'd look at as a kid and go, "This is going to be gone." This thing.
Although most of that would be lost. Grogu would be gone.
Oh yeah, the most you would have left is Din with no weapon, and the big spider. That's all
If
that
you're
would be
lucky,
left.
you have the big spider, or
Yeah.
the big spider you mixed
Maybe
up
you-
and got sold with a bunch of He-Man figures.
Yeah, and you're like, where's Din's cape? He came with a cape. I know he came with a cape.
Not
What
anymore.
happened? Did they
Gone.
put it on another character? Why would I even take that off? You had to take his head off to get that off. Why would I even do that? Oh, bad kid. Last thing.
Yes.
So I'll do a little, if anyone hasn't seen, I've been doing these TikTok videos on my TikTok account at Ken Plume, where I've been doing speedy unboxings, but also comparisons of like different eras and scales of figures. But the thing that I wanted to point out, because the thing that is really memorable of the C-3PO figures of our youth was that they were vac metalized. They had that shiny metal surface
Yes.
to them.
Yes.
So memorable, so scratchable, that
Dingy
wore
and
away
loose-legged
so
immediately.
yeah. Oh, he was a dangler.
Yeah.
He was a floppy dangler, that C-3PO. But modern figures, they go for this sort of gold. Here I have a black series. It's a gold paint that's shiny-ish, but it's got
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
definitely got a
Too
matte.
dingy.
But it's got a
Yeah.
matte finish to it. It
It
just
has to have a gloss.
it
Yeah.
doesn't have that metal appearance. It has like painted metal appearance, but not metal appearance.
Yes.
So come to find out, really the last time before the vintage collection that we got a shiny vac metalized C-3PO was this Saga collection C-3PO. And the thing about the Saga collection, this is 2006, was they really leaned into scene specific releases.
Yes.
Like this is just from a scene. So this is This is C-3PO in his Ewok throne to be carted around. Now, you and I remember, as kids of our generation, we would have gotten this throne as one of the accessories in the Ewok playset,
Yes.
which later became the Robin Hood playset when Kenner was trying to save money for their Robin Hood line.
Yes.
So you can see him right there on the card. But this is the last time we got a vac metalized C-3PO. He looks great.
Yeah.
Also, modern C-3POs tend to be smaller than they should be. Like the scale, they've made him smaller, so he's not
Right.
as tall as he should be.
He's a tall dude. He's a thin, tall dude.
He's a thin, tall droid of water, I guess. Is that what? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to show off that I got the last
That's
the
great.
last of the shiny C-3POs. I don't know if it's this process is too hard or it kills the environment. One of those things has stopped the vac metalization from happening. But you can still
Probably
find these
money.
things out there. I love that they also, what are the other figures? We got a Moff Jer Jarrod. This is the series. If you saw the Ken Knapsack episode, this is the saga collection that the Moff Jer Jarrod came from, that he selected as one of his. But it's so great. You got Luke Skywalker in his poncho from the deleted scenes of A New Hope. I love it. I love when they're just like, you got, I'm assuming this is a sand trooper with a water bottle, for hydrating. This is the period I love. I love the mid 2000s when everything went and they're like, we are going to milk this thing. Toys R Us still exist. All these toy stores to stock these things are still out there. We're going to load it with every little obscure people that were riding high. People know Star Wars again. It's not the early 90s. They care. They're not just buying those turtles.
Yeah, it's here to stay.
Yeah, this is institutional. This is institutional Star Wars in action. So there he is. If you want to get him, in his little Ewok throne and cart him around, if you want to set him on the shoulders of some Ewoks walking around your collection, this is the figure to get. And I got mine already, so I'm not gonna have to fight you on eBay. Go out and get yours.
Thank goodness. Thank you.
Don't think
mine.
Part of my consideration in highlighting these things is things I've already acquired and don't have to worry about. You know how many episodes that I will talk to a guest and they'll say, there's something in my collection. I go, that's great. Before this episode goes up, I'm going to go look for mine and make sure
that's
I've got
really
it.
what this is. This isn't an exploration of the love of collecting. It's your checklist of things that you do not yet have.
Listen, it's
okay. I love it. I support it. I'm here for it.
But it goes both ways. I like for a guest to be on and go, I didn't know that existed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any things that like Joseph Scrimshaw and Ken walked away from going, I gotta go find that now. I have to. I didn't know.
Of course.
I didn't know that Obi-Wan existed. I need to go find that.
Background.
I did. I gotta find Obi-Wan on a tea break. He comes with a doily.
Parasol.
Yeah. You're strolling one. You're strolling Obi-Wan.
The letter he wrote about not being too thrilled to be in it.
Yeah. The letter he wrote in canon to the Duchess Satine.
Yes.
Which you might know from Clone Wars. Hal won't, but you might know from Clone Wars.
Yes, you might know.
So yeah, well, this has been Force 5. Hal, where can people find you? Where should people find you? What are you doing? What's up?
You can find me on the social medias at Hal Lublin. That's where I am. And I'm always doing, we got this with Mark and Hal. I'm always doing Tights and Fights. I'm always doing Good Morning Night Vale and appearing in and around other projects. I was recently MODOK in Squirrel Girl, the Unbeatable Radio Show from Marvel. So if you haven't listened to that, it's available on all your podcatchers. Worth checking out. Very well written. Really, really fun. And I get to be a Marvel villain. Who doesn't want that in their life?
You've been a Marvel villain. You've been a Venture Brothers villain.
I have. That's true. Yes. A lot of villains.
You've been a villain to other bidders on eBay.
I have been a villain to other bidders.
What do you mean that's gone? He got it for how much?
but I'm a friend to sellers. I'm a very pleasant person to buy from. I'm very communicative. I pay right
100%
away.
rating.
I have a 100. I do have a 100% rating. I rate everybody positively. And if you don't like the offer that I give you, I'm never offended. It's fine. The guy I bought micro collection stuff from, I bought 2 sets from him recently, and I bid under what he was willing to take. And the second time he was like, he's like, I appreciate the offers. This is the best I can do. I said, fine. I paid his counter offer both times. No problem. I'm easy to work with. But I am in, I'm not going to just take the first offer. If you say submit an offer, sure, I'll submit it. I'll try. I'm always going to try. Why not try?
Yeah. Everyone live your life. Try me. Easy like Hal Lublin.
Please. Yes. If there's one thing I am, it's easy.
And if you enjoy Force 5, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Ken Plume. At even the $1 level, you get access to a whole ton of stuff. Please go check that out. I'd appreciate that. You can find me on social media at Ken Plume on Twitter and TikTok. Ken Plume on Instagram, kenplume.com. Got a new book coming out, Art of DuckTales, which you can go order in places or just get more information at bit.ly/DuckTalesBook. And still haven't figured out the right way to say goodbye for these episodes and to end this thing. So I'm just going to end it by going, it's over. Bye.